Yo!
Morbius, I got that acrimonious Morbius.
What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about one of the movies in existence, Morbius. What's it about? What was it trying to achieve? And was it successful? Let's get started. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and the bell icon so you don't miss any notifications. So Morbius is one of the movies in existence. It's a superhero title released by Sony, incidentally, on April Fool's Day. You can see that it didn't exactly do all that well in the ratings, and it didn't make that much money either. So by the looks of it, the only fools here were Sony themselves, as the movie just kind of sucked. But maybe this was on purpose. Maybe there's a hidden genius behind Morbius. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Morbius is a satire. It's meant to question the Hollywood industry. And there's a method behind the madness. Star Jared Leto is known for some really eccentric techniques. Chief among them is his ostentatious, pretentious method acting. He's known for some pretty ridiculous displays, and in Morbius, it's said that he refused to walk around. Instead, he would use his crutches to go everywhere, including the washroom. And this was done to reflect the physical state of his character. Now, at first, this seems like a goofy, over-the-top way to get the movie across the finish line. Or not, considering those 45-minute washroom breaks. I don't know. But it is actually Leto's way of having us question the lengths that actors go to within the Hollywood movie-making framework. Hollywood follows the classical cinema structure. This is defined by Bordwell, Thompson, and Smith in their textbook, Film Art and Introduction, as the primary filmmaking and narrative framework used by Hollywood directors, particularly in the industry's zenith. One of the punctuating aspects of classical cinema is its desire to conceal the inherently fabricated nature of storytelling. As we all know, stories are fictional, they're made up, and so are the events in them. These things do not happen naturally, rather, a person decides that things must happen in a certain way. And this can lead to things appearing mechanical. Hollywood cinema attempts to rectify this by using cinematic techniques that essentially hide it. For example, naturalistic dialogue, realistic acting, and convincing visual effects distract us from the fact that it's all fake. Method acting is one of the things that achieves that, supposedly. And that's the key word, supposedly. Because we see with Leto's method acting that it goes really far, maybe too far. And it's really getting us to question, is it really necessary to go to such lengths to hide the fabricated nature of the story? Why don't we just present movies the way they are, mechanical and invented? And beyond the content of the film is its context, the way that it was made. Marshall McLuhan, in his 1964 book, Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man, coined the term, "the medium is the message." Films are not just their story, but the nature of their production. An artwork's medium, techniques, and audience, in Morbius' case, live-action cinema meant for large-screen theatrical releases for a primarily American audience, not only inform, but define the artwork. Morbius is defined not just by the story itself, but the fact that it was made in a really specific context. And one of the primary objectives of this context, Hollywood cinema, is to make money. But Morbius made the unorthodox decision to release itself twice. It defies the traditional practices of its medium, with little guarantee of a financial return. And in doing so, it questions the notion that films must be profitable to be successful. Normally, when movies re-release, it's across a large range of time, but they didn't do that. There must have been an ulterior reason. Perhaps that reason is about something bigger than money. It's a move away from perhaps the defining tenet of Hollywood cinema. It's not about just making money, it's about defining a legacy. And Morbius has most certainly done that. The film has spawned countless successful spin-offs ranging from award-winning DS games to a popular rap by Eminem. People really talk about this movie. And even though it doesn't make a lot of money, it can still have a positive financial impact. That's right, I said, even though it didn't make a lot of money. It's a good thing financially. Star Wars, though not the best example because they did make a lot of money, actually makes the majority of its profits not from the movies themselves, but from merchandising. However, this merch wouldn't be successful at all if it didn't have that story to give it context. Morbius is similar. Yeah, it's probably way worse because the movie itself made very little money, but it spawned so much of a legacy that the financial return is actually really feasible.
Have sex, excel, put my hands a yens, put my best a best, put my ten a ten, or put my spend a spend, have sex.
And beyond financial priorities is the movie's need to deliver a message. To quote the Joker, another one of Leto's acclaimed characters, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. Like other avant-garde films, the movie preaches positive yet countercultural messages. Chief among them is the call to, as the song suggests, have sex. It's a response to the developed world's declining birth rates, and I'm inclined to believe that there was a really specific reason for the choice of this song, considering it's so out of left field and possibly the only entertaining part of the entire movie. But I know what you're thinking. Just stop. The movie's just bad, and it wasn't intentional. You're trying to justify stuff and give credit for credit that's not due. I mean, just look at the money it made. It's produced by Sony Pictures. They made Emoji Movie, for God's sake. Well, they also made Spider-Verse. But their main objective is to make money. They're not trying to change the world here. They're not trying to save lives. They are a multi-million-dollar company. And they didn't make any money with Morbius. They failed. And they didn't do it intentionally. Right? How can I prove that Morbius was doing what it was doing intentionally? Well, ratio and your Jordans are fake. But also, there is actually some evidence to suggest that the Sony execs were in on the joke. Jared Leto himself posted a Twitter tweet, or I should just say tweet, of himself reading a spoof Morbius 2 Morbius script. He knows what's going on, and he gets the Morbin Time memes and such. It's probably not a stretch to think that the execs do as well. The fact that they re-released the movie based on memes alone means that at the very least they were listening. And I suppose it can be argued whether they were listening very critically, but they were definitely listening. They were definitely trying to do something different with this movie. They knew that this movie had a different reaction. Leto himself can be thought of as a Picasso figure. Picasso himself was a master of realism at a very young age, but decided to pursue a new form of art because he got bored of that. He wanted to try something different, Cubism, and people hated it. People thought he was weird. They thought he was just trying to be not like other girls. And it's very hard not to see the parallel between himself and Leto. Whether it can be argued that it's genius or insanity, or it could be the same, as the two are often interchangeable, it's clear that Leto's trying to do something different here. It's clear that Morbius, the film, is trying to do something different. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to say whether Morbius was intentionally bad or not. Because we are not the director, we did not work on the film, and as outsiders, we'll never know just how intentional the film's approach was or not. Regardless, we have to ask ourselves, does it even matter? Because the film is what it is, and it's gotten us to question our definition of what makes a film good. Its existence sparked intense discussion on that topic, and after Morbius, viewers will be inclined to think more critically about the media that they consume and the conventions employed by modern cinema, conventions relating to both the financial and artistic aspects. In the end, maybe it wasn't about whether the film was good or bad. Maybe it was just the friends we morbed along the way. Alright, thanks for listening. Watch my other videos. I guess you can subscribe if you want, but I don't know, I hope you had fun.
Well,
You stupid.